Week 17 of the fantasy basketball season. Here's a few forwards I look to buy and trade for this week. The first forward, Jeremiah Grant of the Portland Trailblazers. So Grant, it's been an injury-plagued season, and no doubt his numbers have dropped off big, especially scoring the basketball from last year to this year. On the season, 14.4 points a game, 3.4 boards, 2.3 assists, blocked 2.3 threes, and 37% from the field. In the last couple weeks here, his numbers have been way down, 10.3 points a game, 5 boards, 3 assists, 2.7 steals, 2.7 threes, and 27% from the field. So I know his scoring and field goal percentage is definitely tanked the last 2 weeks, but still rebounding, stealing, and three-point shooting, he can help fantasy owners. So where his stock's down a little bit is Grant. Even though he is coming off a 20-point game, I still believe you could go out there and get him on a discount deal. February 20th versus the Lakers, 3 points, 2 boards, 2 assists, 3 steals, a block, a 3, 8% from the field. February 22nd versus the Hornets, 8 points, 9 boards, 4 assists, 4 steals, 2 threes, 30% from the field. And February 24th at the Jazz, 20 points, 4 boards, 3 assists, a steal, a block, 5 threes, 40% from the field. Portland Trailblazer team, they were on the brink a little bit here of possibly getting in to the play-in, even though we know the Western Conference is a stacked conference this season. 500 teams are struggling to get into that play-in. So right now, Portland, like I said, 3.5 games out of that play-in is this Portland Trailblazer team. And I think Jeremiah Grant getting healthy, starting to play now after he missed a whole lot of ball games. December 30th all the way to January 16th, now getting his legs under him. The All-Star break could have helped him as well. And like I said, with the numbers down for the most part over the last 3 games here, besides the Utah game, he still was giving you steals, still shooting the 3-ball. And if he could just get his shooting right, he definitely helped fantasy owners in a big way. And like I said, Portland's not totally out of it. Only 3.5 games out of the play-in 9th to 10th seed. So right now, while Grant's struggling and trying to get things going, this is perfect time to buy him low this week. Because if he gets going, we know Grant can score the basketball. We know he's a good 3-point shooter. And right now, I would go out there and try to make a deal for Grant. Because like I said, Portland's not totally out of it, where they're just going to try to rest him up towards the end of the year. Next forward, Tobias Harris of the Detroit Pistons. So this Piston team, it's been a nice year for them compared to last season. Already more wins this season. And Tobias Harris, believe it or not, he's having a productive season, especially over the last month of the year. He's been a better player in that time than Paul George. On the year, 13.7 points a game, 5.9 boards, 2.3 assists, 1.2 threes, and 47% from the field. In the last couple weeks, 18.3 points a game, 5.3 boards, 1.8 assists, 1.3 steals, 1.3 threes, and 60% from the field. So I don't believe the 60% from the field is going to hold up for Tobias Harris. The basketball give you some 3-point shooting and rebounding for fantasy owners. And right now, like I said, I know he's playing over his head, but I still believe that Tobias Harris owner. I don't believe it as well, where still you got to give up something of decency to get him on your roster. But I think he's a good role player for fantasy owners, Harris, and he could keep it up at this decent pace. February 21st at the Spurs, 22 points, 7 boards, 2 assists, 2 steals, 2 threes, 80% from the field. February 23rd at the Hawks, 12 points, 4 boards, 3 assists, a steal, 41% from the field. And February 24th versus the Clippers, 20 points, 5 boards, 2 assists, 2 threes, 69% from the field. So Harris, he's gone out there and he's scoring the basketball at a great rate. He definitely has gotten things going over the last 10 games as Tobias Harris. Still believe that Tobias Harris owner isn't going to put much stock into it. And I still believe he could go out there and get Tobias Harris. I'm not saying it's going to be on a discount deal now this week, but I believe Harris, he's gotten his footing now in his second stint with this Piston team, where there's not a lot of pressure like it was obviously in Philadelphia. With this Piston team, they're going to get into the playoffs and try to be a spoiler type of team and surprise winning maybe a round. So right now, while Harris is playing great basketball, no doubt about it, I still believe you could get him in a decent price this week, and he can help fantasy owners in scoring, 3-point shooting, and rebounding the basketball. And the third and final forward I look to buy and trade for is Chris Middleton of the Washington Wizards. So Chris Middleton, it's a change of scenery here for Middleton, obviously, where there was a lot going on over there. The Milwaukee Bucks, where he was the third fiddle, but veteran leader and a guy can help these young players on this Wizard team with also scoring the basketball and having some fantasy value. On the year, 12.4 points a game, 3.7 boards, 4.4 assists, 1.5 threes, and 50% from the field. Then the last couple weeks since the trade, 9.5 points a game, 4 boards, 3.5 assists, 1.5 steals, a 3, and 37% from the field. To Middleton, I still believe he's not 100%, coming off the knee injury in the offseason. And now, with his new team, he's got to get acclimated to the playbook, obviously with the players. But they're going to want him as a leader on the court and someone who's a veteran, knows how to win, and obviously has won a championship with the Bucks. So right now, this was the team's out of it, and even with Middleton on the court, they're going to keep losing their games and tank this Wizard team. So I believe Middleton still could go out there, he could help fantasy owners, and pretty much you don't have to give up much at all, if anything, to get him on your roster. And he's even out there in 34% of leagues on the wire. February 21st versus the Bucks, 12 points, 5 boards, 2 assists, 2 steals, a 3, 40% from the field. And February 24th versus the Nets, 7 points, 3 boards, 5 assists, a steal, a block, a 3, 33% from the field. To Middleton, he could bring scoring, 3-point shooting, some rebounding, and assisting in the basketball. I know there's a little concern that obviously he could be shut down towards the end of the year with this Wizard team going nowhere and trying to tank for that first overall pick, where obviously they're the worst team in the NBA, is this Wizard team, where they might shut down the veterans like Chris Middleton, Jordan Poole, and Marcus Smart. But I still believe Middleton's going to play. This Wizard team, even with Middleton, they're not going to win a lot of ball games. And as long as he's healthy, I think he wants to go out there and play, and I think he helped fantasy owners. So that's a few forwards I look to buy and trade for Week 17 of the fantasy basketball season.